Hello students, this is the note for the class 8 where we will discuss about the program and programming language concept. Okay, so this is the first chapter, programming language. Okay, so it will only the summary of the chapter, and you should remember each point for the examination purpose and for the future purpose also. So the first point: a program is a set of instruction to perform a certain task. Means program is a set of instruction by which we will perform a certain task. A programming language is the mean by which the instruction and the data are transmitted to the computer. Programming language is a type of language by which we translate our instruction, by which we give our instruction, transmit our instruction to computer. Okay, the two main components of the program is syntax. Two main components of programming language are syntax and semantics. So the surface form of the programming language is known as its syntax, means like the grammar. Okay, it is like similar to the grammar. Most programming languages are purely textual. They use the sequence of text including the word number and the punctuations. Next, about the semantics. The term refer to the meaning of the language and it's just opposite to their syntax. Okay, so semantics is the words, and it's just opposite to the syntax. There are two type of semantic: static semantics and the dynamic semantics. So let's see what is the static semantics and the dynamic semantic. Static means the fix. Okay, that is fix, and dynamic semantics means that is not fix. Category of the programming language: there are two type of the programming language that's in your book. Okay, first is the web programming language and second one the um, software programming language, that is the window based programming language. So web programming language, that is used for development of the website. Web language are used to create and edit the web page. Means this one the programming language that we use for the develop the websites and the web page. The first programming language that we are going to discuss, that is the HTML. Okay, so the full form of HTML is the hypertext markup language, and it is used to define the structures and the layout of the web page. It contains the various tags and attributes. Okay, and used for generally the website development. So HTML is the web development, website development programming language, and it contains different tags and attributes. If you want to know the tags and attribute and detail to HTML, then please see my video that is especially for the HTML. Okay, next programming language, that is the XML. XML, it stands for the extensible markup language. It works the same as the HTML, but the major difference between the XML and HTML is that the XML allow us for the custom tag that are defined by the programmer. Means in XML we can create our own tag, but in HTML we can't create our own tag. It has the predefined tags only. So in HTML we can't create our own tags, it has the predefined tags that we will use, but in XML we can create our own tags. Next one, the JavaScript. JavaScript is a scripting programming language that is generally used with the Java and HTML. Okay, with JavaScript it is possible to communicate with the HTML, create animations, create calculators, validate forms, and more that we can done with the help of JavaScript. So don't confuse that the JavaScript means the Java. Java and JavaScript both are two different programming language, so don't confuse with the both are the separate programming language. Okay, JavaScript is a scripting programming language that is used for create the animation, calculations, calculators, and validate the form. Okay, the different type of validation of the form we can do with the help of the JavaScript. Next one, the VB script, means the Visual Basic Script. it stands for the Visual Basic Script Edition. It is the developed by the Microsoft, and its work only in Microsoft Internet Explorer. Let's see the what is the difference between the JavaScript and VB Script. So VB Script only work with the Internet Explorer web browser, and in the some web browser it will not work, but the JavaScript, it will work on the each and every web browser. So there is some advantage with the JavaScript. Now let's come on the VB Script. The VB Script is developed by the Microsoft Corporation and especially for the work in the Internet Explorer. It can be used to print date, make calculation, interact with the users and more. It is also a scripting language, so uses are same like the JavaScript. It is the based on Visual Basic, but it is not, but is much similar than that. So you can say that the VB Script is the based language on the Visual Basic, but it is more similar than the Visual Basic, very easier, very simpler, okay, to learn. Next one, the JavaScript. What is the Java? Let's see. It is created by the Sun Microsystem. Java is developed by the Sun Microsystem, and VB is created by the Microsoft. Okay, and generally Java is used to create the applet. So before discussing any more point, let's understand what is the applet. Applet is a program that executes from within the another program, means program within the program is called applets, that's run inside the web page as well as software application. Means the Java is used to develop the both a web application and software, means the offline and online both software we can create with the help of Java, and the applets that we will develop in the Java can run on the both offline and online web page. It is a powerful and the flexible language. Java is very powerful and flexible language, means flexible means it is very easy, and next thing that's it's not machine dependence, means if you will write one time you can run many time, write one run anytime. Okay, this one the main motto of the Java, and it's more powerful. The security system in the Java is very high. So if we develop any website and software in the Java, then it will the more secure rather than the other programming language. It helps in the interacting with the user, created graphical program, reading from the files and more. Mainly Java is helpful when we have to create the graphics based program. Okay, graphics based means the where we use the graphics, where we use the mouse, okay, where is very user interaction. That's type of program we will use, we can create with the help of the Java. So this one the first type of programming language, web based programming language, and here we will discuss about the HTML, XML, JavaScript, VB script, and the Java. So second type of the programming language are the software language, that is used to develop the software, means the offline software. Okay, but we can also create the online software with the help of these, but generally in our world, in our society, the developer use these language for the offline. Software language can create from the simple console program that prints some text to the screen and to the entire operating system. First there are the first programming some programming language. So first we will discuss about the three: C, C++, and Visual Basic. So first is the C. It was developed by the Danish in the 1970 at the Bell Labs. Okay, and mainly the Unix operating system is developed in the C. Okay, it is the we can say that it is the mother programming language of the another programming language. Let's see, the another is the C++. I want to compare here with the Splendor bike and Splendor plus plus bike. So same Splendor plus bike. So Splendor plus is the next version of Splendor. Same, The C++ is the next version of C programming language, and it's the object oriented programming language. But if we talk about the C, then it is the structure based programming language, and C++ is the object oriented programming language. It was developed by the Bajan Stropstop at the Bell Labs. Okay, both are developed, both C and C++ is developed in the same labs, Bell Labs, and it is very popular language for the graphical application like the Java. C++ is also very popular for the graphical application, but maximum time C++ is used for the offline software. Next and the last programming language that we are going to discuss is the Visual Basic. It is a language based on the basic language developed by the Microsoft. Okay, basic, Q basics, GW basics, Visual Basics, Visual Basic .NET. These all are the programming language that is developed by the Microsoft, and Visual Basic .NET is the latest programming language. I think Visual Basic .NET VB.NET 2019 means the VB.NET 2019. It was it is the latest programming language, latest version of the Visual Basic. It is used for create window application. Generally Visual Basic is used to create the um, window application, and the VB script language that we have discussed above. Okay, it is on the base on the basic Visual Basic. VB script language is based on the Visual Basic. Okay, so these are the programming language. Here is the different generation of programming language. There are basically 5 generation of computer programming language. These are the human oriented. Okay, the 5th generation, if we will see the years, then the in 1940 approximately 1940 the programming language started in first generation, and was more machine oriented. Second generation is less machine oriented, and the 5th generation is completely human oriented. Okay, and you can see here the date. Okay, years. Now come on the first generation. Okay, so these languages represents primitives computer language that consists entirely 0 and 1s. The machine language means the in first generation programming language we do programming only in the 0 and 1s. That's why it's called the machine language. It can be directly understood by the machine, directly understood by the computer. There is no need of the translator. The second generation programming language 2GL, it was much easier than the first generation programming language, and it's also allow for the use of symbolic name instead of the numbers. These languages are known as the assembly language and symbolic instruction programming language. Third generation programming language 3GL, it was the high level programming language, means the English like programming language, and it was much easier than the first and second generation of programming language. C, C++, Java, JavaScript, Visual Basics, these all are the third generation programming language. Now the next is the fourth generation programming language. Fourth generation programming language use such type of language that is very closer to the human beings, and it is very close to the human language. Fourth generation language are typically use the access database and the SQL. SQL means the structured query language as the database. There is another very popular database, that is the Oracle. Okay, Oracle, Sybase, SQL. These are main 3 database that generally we use in our life. Okay, only the our life means the software development. Okay, not for the general people. Fifth generation programming language. Okay, these languages are currently being used by the neural network. Okay, a neural network is the form of artificial intelligence that attempt to imitate how the human mind works. Okay, so the 5th generation programming language used artificial intelligence, and in this generation the programming language means the computer have the thinking capacity, thinking ability. Okay, now we can define three type of programming language. The low level, in the low level programming language there are two type: machine language and assembly language, and third one the high level, sorry, then the next one is the high level programming language. In low level programming language use the machine code, it use machine code. So first is the machine programming language. Machine language means the 0 1. Okay, we write program directly in the 0 1. Okay, so there is no needs of any translator. Okay, so it's very easy to execute the code. Next, it's make the use of computer fast and efficient, means bahut it we can use fastly in this programming language. Execution was fast. This what was the disadvantage. So writing the program is very difficult, and the programmer has to remember all memory address and operation code when they are going to write the program. Okay, next is the assembly language, where it was much easier than the machine language, because we use here the symbolic code instead of the 0 and 1 alphanumeric symbolics. Okay, that is known as the mnemonics code. And assembly language is sometimes called as symbolic programming language. Programs written in the assembly language are translated into machine language by the translator, and that translator is called assembler. There are some advantage of the assembly language. Okay, let's see what is the advantage. It is easier to understand and use as compared to the machine language. It can be easily modified. It is easy to locate and correct errors. But there are some disadvantage also in the assembly language. Like machine language, it is also machine dependent. Okay, since it is machine dependent, the programmer should have to know the knowledge of hardware also. Next, that is the third type of the programming language, and the second category programming language, high level programming language. It is the English like language, and the all language that we have discussed, like the HTML, XML, Java, C, C++, these all are the high level programming language. Okay, it's the English like programming language, and it's very easy to understand, it is very easy to learn. So let's see what is the advantage of the high level language. They are similar to the English with the vocabulary of the word and symbols. They are user friendly, they are easier to learn and maintain, they require less time to write program, and they are independent of the machine on which they are used. So there is a lot of advantage with the high level programming language. Firstly, it is very easy, user friendly, and very easier to learn and maintain the program. If we have to alter the program, then we can do it easily. Okay, and the best point is that it is not the machine independent. Okay, so if you write program on the any machine, it will execute in the any another machine. Next, about this point. Okay, about this point, there are some disadvantage also with the high level programming language. A high level language has to be translated into the machine language by a translator, and thus is rise the price is there. The object code generated by the translator might be inefficient compared to the equivalent assembly language program. So there are some disadvantages. So now the main point that we have to discuss, it will the last point. There are two type of translator who translate the high level language program to the machine language. First one, the compiler, and the second one is the interpreter. So both are similar, both translate the high level codes, that is the source code, into the machine executable code. Okay, but there are some differences between the compiler and interpreter. A main difference is that compiler translate whole program at once. Okay, but interpreter translate program line by line. This one the main difference. I am going to repeat that the compiler translate whole program at once run, and this process is called compilation, but the interpreter translate program line by line. Okay, so these are the main differences, and due to this main differences, these differences are given in the book between the compiler and interpreter. Okay, so let's see. A compiler generates the error report after the translation of the entire program. Same thing is given, that's I told you. And an interpreter will stop the translation after the get the first error, means the way it will execute line by line. Interpreter executes the program line by line, and it will get any error, it will stop the execution of the program. Okay, so only one main differences are there, and these point are here repeated. Okay, main differences between the high level language and low level language, that is given here. Okay, so high level language is very easy to learn, and low level language is difficult to learn. High level language is near about the human language like the English language. Okay, and low level language is far from the human language, because it's completely in the 0 and 1. If we talk about the execution, then the program are slow in execution because there is a translator. But in low level language, the program are fast in the execution because it directly understood by the computer. Next, we talk about the modification. Then high level language can easily modify, but the modification in the low level programming language is difficult. Facility at the hardware level. So high level language do not provide any facility at the hardware level, but in low level language the we can get much facility than the high level language in the low level programming language. Low level programming language provide a lots of facility at the hardware level. If we talk about the knowledge of the hardware, then if we want to do and learn the high level programming language, then there is no needs of hardware knowledge. But in low level programming language we needs hardware knowledge. Without hardware knowledge we can't do low level programming language. If we talk about the uses, then normally uh, used to write the application program, and the low level program language is used for the hardware level program. Okay, so these are the main differences between the high level programming language and low level programming language. There are some questions. Okay, what is the program, what is the programming language, what is the compiler, what do you understand by the interpreter, what is the syntax. Okay, these are the main, and the very important question, what is the main difference between the compiler and interpreter, and what is the various disadvantages of the assembly language. Main two point between the differences between the high level and low level programming. So these are the very important questions that you have to discuss. Okay, different generation of programming language. Okay, so you will discuss this. So I hope that you will like this video, you can learn a lot of things from this video, and for future get the next video, I want to say you please subscribe the video. Okay, subscribe the channel, that's why you will get the notification. Okay students, thank you very much for watching the video. Okay, bye, take care.